And a lot of them are like supposed to be sexual secrets, kind of like a lot of the sins have to do. Ew, this is twisted.
This is twisted.
Should we say a prayer?
We should say a prayer. I've said one silently. Crosby, I'm doing it again. I can't be ready at the right time. No matter what time we say, I'm after that.
No, yeah. I never feel fully ready. In fact,
And like
even
an
while at
yeah. Even like an hour before, I'm like, I got so much time. It's like I'm gonna be ready.
Mm-hmm.
An hour ago, I was like, do I have time to jerk off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I give me things to do.
Yeah. It's like literally thinking
Like
of chores.
I'm like
Wow.
over prepared. I gotta chill. Like next week I gotta chill. I gotta be a little bit like less prepared.
Yeah. Do you ever cut it too close to when you need to be somewhere and you jerk off?
Um
It's okay if that's not true for you. You don't have to try to make me feel
I
better.
don't want to leave you alone
Yeah.
on this, but I have to.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I think I feel fine about it. I think that the listeners are going to have my back on this. So I don't
Like
feel.
you're like getting ready to go and you're like, I think I can.
Yeah. It's not a
Yeah.
chronic, it's not like a chronic issue.
No, I know.
But it just, yeah, it happens sometimes. You
I think
guys
that
get
happened. I think it was actually like when I think about high school and the
it?
amount and like the fervor with which I was doing
Yeah.
that. And it was just like I never knew when it was gonna hit me and it like had to happen. And it happened quicker kind of at that time, in that time and in place in my
Yes. And yeah, in like high school, it's like you don't live alone. It's all stolen moments,
yes.
basically.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's like you must.
you must. If you take it where you can get it, you must.
Yeah.
God. Wow. To jerk off in high school, I don't remember my patterns.
I remember my patterns. It was like every shower,
Wow.
every shower took an hour
Oh my God.
because that's what was happening
For
for
me,
sure.
it's not a water thing. It's not really a water thing for me, except for that time a couple months ago when I was like, I just jerked. Remember I told you I was like, I just jerked
You're
out in
like,
the bath.
you're like, oh, I get the bath thing. Suddenly
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
trying to tell
yeah.
us this is what we're doing in the bath. And you're like, I don't do
Right.
this in the bath.
It happened one time and never again. And since then.
I feel like maybe shower and bath were stolen moments for me. It was like the only
Right.
real
Right.
moment of like, I'm sure no one's going to come in.
Right.
Also, one of my rituals was coming home every day from high school, taking a bath and listening to Coldplay and reading the Gossip Girl books.
Oh my God.
And then like getting off on like the idea of Serena. I was just like,
Crosby, people are gonna listen to this. Oh, those books. Come
they're
on.
so good.
They're so good. Are you gonna give the reboot a chance?
I have to. It looks good.
You really have to.
I mean, I didn't get the other thing. I didn't watch the other show at all.
I watched like the beginning of the other show. I didn't really get into it, but I don't know. Sex positive gossip. It's like, what are we doing here? It's not the spirit. It's not the spirit of Gossip Girl.
Is that the deal? It's like it's sex positive.
It's like,
This
yeah, it's
reboot.
like younger, you know, yeah, it's
It's
Gen
Gossip
Z.
Girl Gen Q.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. Oh my gosh, what I was gonna say is, I know you're not watching The Bachelorette, but
Okay.
have you been clued into what's happening this week?
No,
Katie,
I'm not even a little in the world
so
this
Katie, the
time.
Bachelorette,
Okay.
has forbidden all of the men in the house from jerking off. She's just
What?
like doming them on primetime television. It's the most bonkers town banana shit I've ever seen. Literally. She
How
called
did
it that she's they're calling it the whoa challenge. It's week off, whack off challenge. And the guys are like talking about how hard it is to not jerk off because she makes them
they have to
horny.
talk?
And it's like framed like they're right, like it's framed like it's a compliment to her that it's so hard for me to not jerk off.
Like the only way they can talk about masturbating is if it's like in the context of like, this is how you masturbate in a monogamous relationship, is like
Right.
everyone's jerking off to like their husband or their
Exactly. And
wife.
that's why, look, I'm mad at the show right now because she's like the sex positive bachelorette. But the show is like framing it like sex positivity is just like saying that you like sex and then sort of like sidestepping the work of actually like,
I mean, I didn't expect the show to get that right.
no, no,
And
no,
I
of
also, and
course.
I
That would be on me
also,
if I expected
yeah,
that.
like,
Yeah.
please. But that whole thing of like her personality is like, she's not afraid to say dildo is like
Mm-hmm.
the most, like, do
Truly.
you like her as a person? Because again, I haven't watched it, but like, is she likable, or is it just that she's like, that's right, I said it, masturbation. It's healthy. It's normal. It's something men do. And today, it's off limits. We're playing games. We're okay talking about sexuality.
It's like she doesn't act, you know, pretentious about sex positivity. It's really the show kind of framing. So I don't think she's that interesting. Definitely not as likable as I thought, but I think the show is also just up to its old tricks. This guy is telling her like she's like, is this hard for you? Like, how much do you do it? And he's like, you know, like multiple times a day, like probably once when I get home from work, another time after the gym, in the shower. It was like he copped to like 3 times a day.
In the world, are men just always stealing away doing this? Like a constant, just, they're all just,
Like
like
crank. Yeah.
doubled
Yeah.
over,
Oh
cranking,
God.
cranking.
Yes. Doubled over. Yes.
Get a grip. Maybe she's giving them like a little moment's peace. Have you ever had an experience with those guys who are like, I don't do it because I'm like trying to sharpen my creativity and
Oh my God.
product
That's almost worse. That's
productivity. I know.
worse.
I'm like, please
Yeah.
do it. Please just do it.
Yeah. 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 It's
Ugh.
like you're just doing a different kind of jerking off,
Yes,
you know?
you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like you're doing it on your brain.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Gross. Would you do I mean, sometimes people do you know, stop for a month for that like just
Right. It just doesn't get in the way of my, I
right,
don't do
right.
it enough for it to be getting in the way of anything. There used to be phases and they come lesser now where it's like 4 days, like disappear. I'm like, whoa, I was in a zone, like not literally, like I do leave the house and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just sort of like always a little bit like, wait a minute. It's like I remember, like
I
once
know. I
every
remember it
4 months,
sometimes.
I
Yes.
remember, and I'm like, this is
Exactly.
free,
Exactly. Yeah.
free.
Yes. It's you know, Friendly what says, you know, when she's talking about like people who run a marathon or like climb a mountain or something to
Oh
challenge
yeah,
themselves, and she's
yeah.
like, you don't need to give yourself fake problems.
Men love a struggle,
Yeah.
like a pretend struggle.
Dude, I tried to, this was a few months ago. Some dark stuff was happening to me in Pan. I tried to read that book, The Obstacle is the Way. You read
Which
this
one's
book?
that?
Oh my God.
Julia, you're really good at reading.
Thank you.
She reads a lot.
Thank you.
You're
Always
welcome.
have been.
She's a reader.
They had to create my own spelling group for me in fourth grade. You know, I was in it all by myself.
I had to make a spelling group for you because you loved spelling so much.
The group was like by
Okay,
the
bitch.
the the difficulty of the words on your spelling test. So you got like proportionally difficult, whatever. I don't know what year it was that everybody surpassed me.
Yeah, that always happens.
Yeah, I flamed out. I
You
flamed out
had
in high
a few
school.
moments of glory.
That's that ADHD trajectory. Look, that's boring. I hate when people are like, I was a whatever.
It was so
Whatever.
hard.
God. I can only say that truly because I am stupider than my peers now. The only reason I can say
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
because I'm stupider than my
Yeah, we're
peers.
allowed now.
Yeah.
But we're smart in everything having to do with our opinions about everything.
Yes. Yeah. About living life, about our sort of outlooks. Yes, yes. But the obstacle is the way is a deranged look. I'm not even going to go into it. Men are so horny for this book. It's like it's self helpy and whatever, but it wasn't like, I mean, whatever. I don't know why I read it, but it was absolute garbage. It's like about like man gladiators in history and how like I can't even talk about it. I can't even listen to myself talk about it. It's the most deranged shit. I was like, men are reading this and identifying with it and letting it guide them. I was so disturbed. I was so disturbed.
It reminds me of like when you're in a yoga class with, it could be a woman, like just someone who is being like kind of competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, I feel like we have to chill in here. Like part of this whole thing of like self-help and like is like kind of chilling out a little bit, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I feel like you've been on a journey of like with the reading of the books and things, a journey of like discovery. Am I wrong?
I wouldn't say I don't know. I don't do that much self-help. I should do more. I should do more.
Did you read Glennon's?
Crosby.
I don't want to.
It's like, let me bring that up by myself in my own time. What are we on, episode 4? God. Yes, I read Glennon Doyle's Untamed.
Okay.
Because I had to.
Yeah.
I had to hate read it. I had to. I couldn't not. Truly. I mean, 330 pages of hitting myself over the head with a hammer could have saved myself so much time.
Do you mess with Brene Brown? Is that her name?
I don't really, but I've never tried. Yeah, I'm not super familiar. I never dove in.
Yeah, I've like heard a podcast or two.
You find
her and Glennon are kind of like similar little twin flames-ish of like white ladies talking about things.
Same with Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, she was talking about Brene Brown, and she talks about her in Big Magic.
Right. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just like, it's like all sounds a little bit the same to me, and all of is like, it's a little not practical unless you have no problems, like other than just sort of like knowing where you are in the world and like
right.
It's like rich people talking about like being lost.
What a nice problem to have, that you don't feel at peace with yourself or you don't trust your own. I mean, whatever, you know. What it sounds like gorgeous problems to have. I think the other thing too that I can't get on board with about self-help books and memoirs and stuff like that is like, I just think that the stuff that you learn in life, you can't tell it to other people. Yeah. And it doesn't help them learn that if you tell it to other people. I think like whatever happens to you on your own journey, you can't impart that. You can't, it's experience, you know, like, yeah. I just truly think you can't teach anybody else anything, you know?
Well, being a good writer is like now like, oh, then write. And it's like, I kind of think a lot of people are good writers, and maybe not everyone has to write like exactly about like the worst time of their life or something, like maybe.
Right. I think it also comes from, like a dormant, just sort of an underlying belief that like we're in a meritocracy. So when someone gets famous or has achieved something, it's like we want to hear from them about how they did it, you know? Right. Like it's like just by virtue of being famous, you have wisdom to impart because you did this thing, you accomplished this thing. And it's like, that's not how it happens.
They got lucky.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's probably like 20 other people just as 20,000 other people just as like, or even better, like wanting to be like, because is it maybe also that shittier people want to be famous?
Whew.
This is our age old.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not a question that we're going to be able to answer on this episode or any episode, you know?
because
But
ultimately that would make us,
right.
unless we're not famous yet, because maybe we're not so shitty.
Right. It's like, it's actually a credit to us that, but Crosby, you are like, just, any way you slice it, you're a star. You're a true star.
Julia.
Have been, will be, star every sense of the word.
I thought you were saying it ever since I first met you. Ever since that first moment.
I knew that you were, I really did, because, yeah, I really did, because I think that, I don't know how this is going to sound. This might sound incredibly obnoxious, and I have to say it so that I know, and then we can cut it if it does. But it's like being in college and writing sketch comedy, which I am not claiming was good sketch comedy.
Okay, but it wasn't
at all.
bad.
Would never. But I do remember that when we connected, when you were like, you were the first person, or the first time that it was like stuff that I had written. When I handed it to you, it was like you did something that was better than I could have like imagined when I was writing. It was like so much better than I could have come up with myself, than I could have like tried to get out of anybody. Like I wouldn't have known to ask for that or prompt, like I feel like, because when you're high school, college, a lot of directing is just like kind of trying to like get the thing that you want. It's like get the line reading that you want, or whatever, and that's kind of the best you can do at that age a lot. But directing and acting. But I just remember being like, that's so much funnier than anything I could have ever thought when I was writing it, or
Julia.
anything. Even these shitty sketches that you made incredible.
Okay, well, this is funny because I was like, this is the first funny person I've met at college. No, like I was like, oh, when you realize you have, when you like,
Crosby, we were like almost seniors.
I know. It was like, I was like, oh my God. And she's a genius. Like in my head, I was like, Julia is like the next Tina Fey. She just, I was like, she's whip smart. She's like, you know what I mean? Like you were the first person that we were laughing at the exact same things. It's cool.
Tina Fey. God.
Tina Fey. And at the time, we had just read Bossy Pants. It was
right.
like,
I was just talking to Emily about this. It was like Tina Fey.
We were like,
was seminal. I like, if I watch old episodes of 30 Rock, easy, fun thing for bed, whatever, just dip in, dip out. Some of the jokes on there, it's like I hear them through 2021 lens, and it's like she's very, she's a white lady, she's sex negative, she's like, I'm hearing these things, and it's my first experience of knowing what it's like to want to claim, like, it's like, it was a different time. Yeah. It was a different time, and this thing was funny then. And it's like, that's what racists say. Yeah. But I'm saying that. I'm like, because to a Gen Z, if they, if they heard Tina Fey, they would be like,
they hate Tina Fey.
Yeah. And it's like, I understand that through today's lens, but you just have to understand what was going on.
That like somehow it did work. I promise you, somehow it did work.
Yeah. Oh my God, Crosby, something so embarrassing?
What?
During that time, during college sketch time, I remember I had my desktop background was like mosaic. It was like a collage of women comedians.
Wait,
it was like different tiles. It was like the whole screen was like different tiles. It was Tina Fey, Wanda Sykes, Paula Poundstone. Like, I
think I remember this.
Oh God, I'm devastated that you remember this. I thought I was the only one, and I thought, thank God nobody else knows about this except me.
Julia and I took a women in comedy class together. We read. Did we read 2 Ellen books? Does Ellen have 2 books?
She has 2 or 3, I think. Yeah, I think we read
Every female comedian's.
Lucille Ball. We did a
Oh,
lot with Lucille Ball. Yeah.
Jane Lynch's book changed my life.
Oh my God, I haven't read it.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay,
Jane,
I'll read Jane
oh,
Lynch's.
it's what made me decide like, oh, I'm gonna try act. I'm gonna like be an actor, like try and do.
Wow. It really did change your life.
Jane.
Well, you are. Guess what? You're an actor.
Like if I
Sorry
ever
to
met
say
her,
that, but yeah.
sorry, but I did it, Jane. We did it, Joe.
Yeah.
We did it, Jane. I have a little tale to tell you.
Yes.
Which is that this week I've been with a lot of family.
Mm.
One of my dad's best friend is a nun.
That's right.
She's been, with the fam, in the fam for like since I was born.
What's the birth of this friendship?
I don't know. I think they met at church, truly.
Wow.
Catholic church. Okay. So we were talking and I was like starting to, I'm grown up now. So I feel like I'm more kind of candid and I say whatever I want. And I try and like do that more and more each time I'm home. Cause I'm really grown. I really am a grown up. I really am grown.
Hard to believe, but yes.
And I started asking, I was like, so like nuns, oh, you know what it was is they were saying like, oh, Crosby, when you see redheads on the street, do you guys have like a wave you do or like some sort of indication? And I was like, you know what, we kind of do. Like there's definitely like an acknowledgement. And she was like, same with nuns. and my stepmom was like, oh, how can you tell when you see another nun?
What did they do?
She's like, oh, I mean, you can just tell, like short gray hair, kind of dumpy. And I was like, oh, so it's just like how I look for lesbians. Like, And she said, without skipping a beat, she goes, that Venn diagram kind of overlaps. And I said,
say more on that, please.
I was like, I mean, I'm not shocked. No. Don't get me wrong. This is something that I knew deeply inside my bones forever.
Born with that.
Born with that knowledge inherent.
Installed, yeah.
But I figured they kind of didn't know or didn't.
They
don't
know, or couldn't say yes that they would articulate that.
It's probably sadder than we'd like to believe. It's like if you're raised Catholic and you're gay and you're not supposed to be, then the easiest thing is to deprive yourself of having sex at all with anyone ever again for the rest of your life. But also I can see these ladies just actually wanting to be of service and like wanting to make that sacrifice, and it not necessarily be for everyone, not necessarily being a thing that they're like just living in shame. And so they're like,
did you have nuns as teachers?
A couple.
You have you have a relationship with nuns that I do not, because I didn't go to Catholic school.
But you were raised, did you go to church on, like you had to go to Mass?
I got First Communion and reconciliation and all that. God, that was fucked. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
I remember being in third grade and it's like, yeah, you're learning how to do confession. Big deal. You got to go do confession. And I remember like feeling at 9 years old, like I couldn't say the things that I actually had done. And so I remember like I would like make things up and say like I was mean to someone on the playground or I was mean to my sister.
Yep.
And I don't know what I was thinking, but it's like, isn't that, now I think of that and it's like, that is so fucking sad that whatever I thought I was doing at 9 years old was unspeakable.
Yes.
Because they made me feel like, like I felt like I couldn't even say it in, what could I have been doing?
It's so insane. We also, we would be in line before, and this was like second grade. We're like in line to confession. Being like, I think I'm going to just say like, I kicked my sister, I was mean to my mom.
And you're like, oh, that's a good, I'll say that one too.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too, mom. Me too, mom. That's really, yeah, me too, mom. And you're like scared shitless. You're like, it's been a week since my last confession, and you're like, and they like are sitting there. I had a lot of priest teachers,
mm.
and so you're there like with your teacher sometimes,
God.
confessing to your teacher. They know who
Yeah.
you are. You can't
Right.
say anything real.
Right.
They're gonna
It's not
know.
a third party. Yeah, it's not this independent. And it's a scary situation too. It's like the whole the darkness, the smallness of the there's it's like you can't
You're
see.
you're in a weird cage,
It's frightening.
and a lot of them are like supposed to be sexual secrets, kind of like a lot of the sins have to do. Ew, this is twisted.
This is twisted. What are some like fun, if you wanted to like revamp confession, what are some fun like updates or edits you would make?
um, he would have to tell us his sins too.
Yes.
He would
Yeah.
have to be. He would have to admit like if he's done it too. He'd be like, I did that.
Yes. Yeah. I would do like a group setting and you write them down and you put them in a bucket or something and then you try to guess whose was what.
And you drink the blood of Christ every time like
Yeah.
you get it right.
Yes, yeah. It's never have I ever.
They should just have nuns be able to hear confession, but they're not allowed
Right.
to.
Right. Absurd. Absurd.
I've taken to watching. Have I told you this? One of my YouTube holes is watching nuns. Well, there's like nun channels, and they give you tours of their convent,
Oh my God, no, you haven't told me this.
where they live.
Yeah.
And there's like little bed and
It's
and
like the
the
Cara
idea.
Delevingne store, but
Exactly, exactly.
it's nuns.
But nuns.
They have a vagina tunnel.
Yeah, it's their favorite. They have like card games, and they're like, here's our, like literally one, it was like, Sister Catherine really like got me good in spades last week, didn't you, Sister Catherine? And they're like laughing, like, and they're like 21 years old.
Are these like nun YouTubers? Are these like frequent character or everybody kind of does a one-off? Or it's like we
It's
tune
it's
into Sister Catherine,
it's usually a one-off because it's something they make for their congregation, who just
some
like
promo. Yeah.
donated a dishwasher. So they're like, we would like to show you all what you have provided us here in this home. And a part of me watches it because it's like, I'm like, worst comes to worst. Like, if I'm always afraid a little bit, like I'm gonna break, like I'm gonna kind of like snap and lose it, and like not be able to be like kind of like a member of society, or at least like a member of like East LA. And so I'm like, okay, if that happens, I'm moving to a convent.
If the showbiz thing don't work out,
I'm becoming a nun.
yeah, a YouTuber nun. You can be a YouTuber nun. We should have a nun on the pod.
Should I have Sister down the pod?
Yes. How long are you there?
She's already gone.
Oh.
We can have her on the pod though. She knows how to Zoom.
Okay, girl.
And she
Wow.
speaks in a very like nun way. She's
Uh-huh.
like, she'll like won't quite answer the question. She'll like answer everything in a story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do you think about abortion? She's like, well, Crosby, that reminds me. I was in Alabama once, and you're like, suddenly at the end, you're like, oh, I'm pro-life. Like,
Yeah.
but she's like pro-choice. She's like a cool nun.
I really admire your ability to, you're very right with like asking the elders
I
things.
love
And
asking.
I don't just mean gays. It's like family,
Mhm.
family lore. That's not a huge part of my, yeah, my dad like loves to tell stories, but I feel like I don't know, you go for, it's like my dad's side of the family, it's like they love to tell anecdotes. People love to tell anecdotes in my family.
Yeah.
But there's not like it would be grotesque to sort of press for details about like how did you and Nana meet? You know, like it's like disgusting.
They'd be like,
Please don't. Yeah. Is New England, I think, is the missing
ooh,
link here for people who might not understand that. It's like New Englanders, yeah, and Catholic, sort of that
yeah, they're like,
intersection is like, you don't talk about feelings or sentimental things or
this feels a little intimate, daughter.
exactly. Yeah, like it's like anecdotes, please, of
Right.
sometimes that someone said something funny or there was a hilarious miscommunication of some
Silly, light,
kind. Yeah,
frilly.
yeah, yeah.
Silly, light, frilly sports.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family's just like that kind of like dramatic mix of like Irish Catholic and Southern and New Yorker. So it's just like everything is like told in a tale of like in 1975 and da, 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 and the
Very
question is like,
flowery.
right. The
Wow.
question is like, where's this? Oh, how's this book? And it's like, my grandfather started reading to, I'm like,
What a
oh,
lovely, what a lovely way to be though.
yeah.
What a
I
fascinating. How long have you been there? You've been there a bit.
almost 2 weeks. I'm sunburnt.
Mm. When are you going back?
I go back on Monday in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like ready.
Yeah.
I took a little bit too much of my sister's edible last night and spiraled and almost bought a ticket that night to leave that night. Cause I was like, I
What was
have to
the
get out
thought
of here.
process? Oh
It
my
was just like,
God.
I was just like, I'm regressing. I'm regressing. I'm like
Regress.
turning, I
Yes.
gotta get out of here.
Regressing and is this your childhood home
This is my
as well?
childhood home. We were
Yeah.
at the lake and that's like a childhood, very
Yeah.
like
The
vibe
childhood
thing.
home can be very dangerous.
Anyway, my niece did turn to me yesterday and said, "You're in love with a boy." And I was like,
Take that back, you little
"Hey,
bitch.
shut the fuck up." And I go, "Oh my gosh, who?" And she said, "Robbie." And I was like, "Huh." I was like, "Okay, you're not wrong."
Next level, little
Yeah, I was
girl.
like, "Okay, bitch."
Yeah. You're here to play ball. I
Okay.
respect it.
Non-binary awareness month. I hear you and I see you. Thank you, little one. It was a funny thing too. It's like she was trying to bully me by calling me straight. She's like, "You like a boy." She is in. She's in on the joke.
I have huge news.
What?
Freaking my mini gay girlfriend. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have a mini gay girlfriend anymore. I have a mini gay wife. We got married. We got married and we're on our honeymoon. That's our pet. We did move in together and we got a pet who now I have to, keep him clean and fed and all that too. But Crosby, I coughed up 99 cents to level up. At a certain point, they have you level up. You got to pay for the app, right?
Julia.
So I did pay the 99 cents, which didn't feel great. Didn't feel great, but I did it,
To
for
get
love.
engaged, you paid 99 cents,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
essentially.
yeah. So you're dating, then you be girlfriends, then you move in together, then you get engaged, then you get married. And I don't know what happens after this. We're on our honeymoon right now. It seems like you just kind of like go home and then you play the same games. Every level comes with
What are
new
things you
games.
do during the day with this, like with your mini gay girlfriend? Like, what are
So,
games?
okay, so we take a bubble bath.
Mm-hmm.
Together, we go on a picnic. We go to coffee or a movie or to dinner. We wink and hug and kiss. Yeah.
I'm really, really happy for you guys.
It's also huge, Crosby, because when I had this app, when I was 21, it's like I broke up with him. We were girlfriends. I broke up. I didn't know these levels of the game existed.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm 30 and it's like I'm ready to stick around.
You're
I've
excelling.
actually, yeah, we've
You
been
have
together for
grown.
24 days.
You've grown and you've learned.
Yeah.
The fact that bubble bath is like an activity is pretty like
It's
in
kind of
the lesbian
horny.
game. It's horny and it reminds me of lip service. Do you remember? Yeah, yeah, yeah. One
It
of
was
the
only a
first
matter of
things,
time. I knew you were going to say
yeah,
it. I knew you were
no,
gonna say
one of the first things ever that we ever like gay texted about was the guys. If you have not watched this, it's like
Yes.
a Scottish
Yeah.
lesbian series.
L word. Yeah, it's
It's
fiction.
Scottish
Yes.
L Word.
Yeah. And there's a scene.
Where
Two lesbians it's a shaving in the bathtub
shaving
scene.
pubes.
She says, "Shave for me." And she hands her the razor, and then she has a camera. You know, it's Frankie. She's a video, whatever. She's always got her
Obviously.
camera. Right, of course.
Frankie is the Shane, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, you guys get
You
it.
get it.
She hands her the razor. She says, "Shave for me," and then she's taking pictures. She's taking
No.
pictures. Yeah, we were too young for that.
We were too young. But I think we were like, we both were like, ew.
I know. It was like looking at it through.
Yeah, like,
That was one of the first things we gay texted about. Oh
Have you
my
ever
God.
done that to someone? Be honest.
Shaved? Yes.
Shave them.
No, I've never shaved them.
Shave them.
I've had someone shave me.
Did you get your idea from?
No, and it was very organic. We were on sort of like a weekend, like a beach weekend, and it was playful, like it was
Really cute.
equal amounts like playful. It wasn't like a joke, you know, like we knew that it was horny. We were horny for it, but it started playful and it was yeah, it was hot.
I'm really happy for you.
Crosby, we gotta go.
We gotta just get out of here.
If you like talking, laughing, loving, breathing, like, comment, and subscribe.